Folks, welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and we are here today to talk about Smackdown Live. The show just went off the air, and we had an amazing event. I see Austin Stroop in there saying Smackdown was great tonight. Mr. Floodwater says Smackdown over Raw, and I couldn't agree more, fellas. I hope you guys had a wonderful day today. I was really looking forward to Smackdown because Raw sucked. Brandon Anderson, what is going on, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see you. Connor, I see you in there as well. What is going on, everybody? Man. Craziness, guys. Let's talk about Smackdown Live and everything that happened tonight. But first, got to do all of our plugs. Do me a favor. Make sure you like the video. Leave a thumbs up. If you're watching after the fact, comment down below what you thought of the show. I still want to hear from you. Also, make sure if you're in the live chat, talk, man. I'm going to read your stuff. I see you, Brandon. See? I see it all. The emojis. I see Robert out there. And also, as Robert just said, buy the shirt. We have Everything Pro Wrestling merch. There is a link in the description box below. We have all types of shirts. You can buy a coffee mug, a notebook. I don't care what you buy. Help support Everything Pro Wrestling. Show a wrestling fan and tell them to come in and join us while we do this conversation. Also tonight, guys, if you were wondering where I was on Twitter, I was a little bit more quiet. I actually was in control of the Brainbuster Radio account. That's at Brainbuster Radio on Twitter. Make sure you give us a follow. We actually just hit over the 1K mark before our launch. So big kudos to us. We had a little celebration in our private messages. So shout out to everybody at Brainbuster Radio. I appreciate the hell out of all of you. Can't wait to work with you guys as well. Phone cases, throw pillows, and all. Go ahead, Rob. Rob, I can't wait to have you on the podcast. I'm going to have you shilling hard. We're like DX. But let's get into this Smackdown show, guys. So, New Day kicked off the show out there, and they're telling everybody what is going on with Kofi Kingston not getting the match, and they're kind of sick and tired of it. And how are they going to get Kofi Kingston into this match? Well, they start talking about how they were thinking of quitting. And I'm sure we've all been there at a job where we're sick and tired of it, or we've been in a position on a sports team, something. They're like, you know what? Is this really worth it? Because we're being held back. I'm not getting my chance. I want my chance, and I'm not getting it. They're talking about quitting. Vince McMahon comes out along with Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, and Vince says that they're not going to quit because he knows who they are as people, especially Kofi. And Daniel Bryan is calling Kofi Kingston a B+ player. Now, I wanted to talk about something I saw in the Facebook group chat first. Daniel Bryan's evolution of a character is so interesting and how he has changed, because Daniel Bryan is now doing the exact same thing that they once told him. And I think this is a great part of the story. Daniel Bryan has become a hypocrite ever since he doubted his abilities to win the WWE title, and he started having to use dirty tactics. So now he's doing the exact same thing. He is bullying a superstar who is seen as lower tier into, oh, you're going to do whatever I say anyway. I'm going to get into your head, whatever. It's the exact same storyline. I think this is tremendous storytelling for once. Who do we got in here? Mr. Floodwater's got his shirt. Thank you, Flood. Robert's talking about phone cases, throw pillows and all. WrestleMania hype, Austin says. Robert says we got more stuff coming. Robert, I can't tell him the secrets yet, bro. Jesus DeLeon says, let's effing go. Kofi Mania. What's going on, Jesus? And Austin Stroop says, that's great storytelling. Good. What about you? Good to have you guys in here, man. Make sure you guys are in here talking it up, chatting it up. I want to hear what you thought of Smackdown Live tonight. So, Mr. McMahon eventually says that Kofi Kingston has had his opportunities, but he's going to let Big E and Xavier. And this showed the bond that New Day had. I'm sorry, I went right into that. This showed the bond that these three have had for all these years of being together, saying that it's up to you two. So they're getting some shine out of this as well. So Kofi Kingston will be banned from ringside. Biggie and Xavier Woods will end up having to do a tag team gauntlet tonight. If they win, Kofi gets the match at Mania. Can they defy the odds? We'll find out in this review. So, after that, we get Becky Lynch backstage questioning why Charlotte's in the match. Charlotte needs to prove herself. And then Charlotte basically says she's going to show you why she should be in this match. We get an impromptu SmackDown Live women's title match. Who, when, or how the hell this match was made, nobody knows. I thought it was a really good match. It wasn't WrestleMania quality like they had last year, but it was a good TV match for SmackDown. And there was some mixed reactions, and I really want to see what the live chat is saying about this with Asuka, because it's going to bring up some fiery topics. Me personally, I feel conflicted about all of this. You have on one hand Asuka, who needs this win. She deserves this WrestleMania moment. You ruined her almost last year by having her lose to Carmella. It's the Shinsuke Nakamura effect all over again. She finally gets the belt at TLC, and then she kind of disappears off TV. She doesn't do too much after the Royal Rumble. She loses to Mandy Rose. She disappears again. And now she's back to face Charlotte. Is this going to be a big title defense or not? Well, as you guys know, it wasn't a big title defense. Charlotte is now your new SmackDown Live Women's Champion. Nasty looking figure 8 that she put on her. But let's see what the live chat has to say about this. Let's see. At work slacking off. SmackDown was probably a good 9 out of 10. Let's see here. Good show. Way better than Raw last night. You damn right about that, Brandon. I think Asuka might leave, Jesus says. Good match, but BS. I wouldn't have minded a roll-up or a pin, but why did she have to tap out twice? They're trying to put Charlotte over. Connor says, insert Cody AEW meme. Oh, man. It's good. Makes the main event of WrestleMania better and removes a filler match from the show. You're not wrong about that. That's why I feel conflicted about this, guys. Exact same reasons. Screw the woo, Mr. Floodwater says. And why can't Asuka beat Charlotte? That's a story that they're going to have to tell now, I think, going forward with this. Charlotte's been put over so many times, and she's a dominant superstar. By the way, does everybody know that Charlotte broke Trish Stratus' record tonight? Charlotte is an 8-time women's champion. Can you believe that? 8 times already. So, Trish Stratus' record was broken. I thought they would have made a little bit of a bigger deal about it, but all good. Whatever. We knew this was going to come. So, the question is, now, Sean Bates from Scumbags of Wrestling, shout out to them and their podcast, local guys from Canada, around my way a little bit, close to the New York area, brought up an interesting point. Now, at first I thought it was a layup, like they're going to defend both belts, and I'm sticking with that, but he brought up something that was real interesting in our Facebook group, Everything Pro Wrestling Facebook group. He said that what if they're trying to have that moment where all 4 horsewomen have belts at the end for that Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit effect? And I said, oh, that's pretty interesting. I didn't think about that. That's why they gave Charlotte the belt. But if you were going to do that, you could have possibly did that in a match against Asuka, and you wouldn't have had to put Charlotte in this match. You know what I mean? So it was just an interesting point that I wanted to bring it up. But hopefully they put both belts on the line and they make that match as hype as they can, because that's the main event. You have to deliver now. These girls are going to have to pull out all stops to have the best match on the card. And if this show's 8 hours, 8 freaking hours. If this show is 8 freaking hours, dude, I'm going to go nuts. I love wrestling just as much as the next guy. I probably love it more than the next guy. But, dude, 8 hours is way too much, man. We cannot have shows be that long. Can't. Charlotte is ready for Asuka, though. Knock it off, Flood. Yep, commentators put that over. She might break Ric Flair's record now. Ooh. If they unify the belts, would it be purple? Yeah, well, stop it. No, leave that alone. Don't give them any ideas to create more belts, please. We see those awful silver nickel tag titles we got now. Hopefully they get rid of those soon. Next match, Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles. Dud. They came out, they started doing some stuff. Man, Kurt Kurt's looking in rough shape, man. I really hope that when he goes against Corbin that he's just ready to go and do his thing. Orton winds up interfering in the match after an ankle lock was put on. Calf crusher, ankle lock, basically. AJ's trying to stand up, his ankle hurts, and then Randy Orton comes out of nowhere, RKO, and Angle comes to make the save. He almost botched or couldn't pick up Orton all the way for an Angle slam. You'll see it on Botchamania, trust me. But, God, man, I love Kurt, but it's time. It's time, man. Angle was the man, though, but it's time. He's got one more match against Rey Mysterio, I believe, on Monday Night Raw, and this was supposedly his last Smackdown match. So, I'm looking forward to it, man. Kurt's one of my favorites of all time, so I'm just paying respect to the legend. Thanks, Kurt. Good to see you out there, at least. Rey Mysterio Dominic interview. The usual cheesiness. Rey says he's going to win the belt for his La Familia, and he's going to bring the U.S. title home. Can I just say something? This tweet got a lot of traction for me. I swear, I still want to see Samoa Joe put the coquina clutch on Dominic and yell, "I'm your papi." I don't care what anybody says. I will freaking die laughing if I could just see Samoa Joe lock it in. Even if he had the Eddie shirt on, that would make it 10 times better. He's just like, "I'm your papi, Dominic. I'm your papi." And I just think that'd be a great moment to put some heat on Samoa Joe. And I know he's the type of dude who could deliver that in the ring. Yes, I know I have a problem. I'm a sick dude, but I'm going to keep saying that. It should happen. We get to The Miz challenging Shane McMahon to a Falls Count Anywhere match. I feel like they thought this week the matches needed stipulations because we saw Triple H put his career on the line. You see gauntlet matches. You're seeing all this other stuff to add to the hype of WrestleMania. And we're going to talk about that when we preview it soon, if it's working. And all that stuff will be on the podcast. Links in the description box below. So Shane comes out, and he actually had Sanity, Epico, and Primo. Where the hell have they been? I didn't even know they were on SmackDown. Well, I guess I could say the same about Sanity, right? Shelton Benjamin. All the people who we haven't seen in so long were out there, and Miz kicked everybody's ass. Miz beat up security. He beat up Sanity. He was throwing Killian Dane, everyone around everywhere. He wants that Falls Count Anywhere match against Shane. Hopefully he can deliver. I didn't like how his punches and stuff look. Like I said, Miz is still trying to get used to the babyface role, so I'll give him some time. But by WrestleMania, let's see if Miz will deliver on that match with big Shane McMahon. Shane's going to come out with probably a crazy spot in this match. It'll be interesting, man. I want to see the best for The Miz. I think he deserves it. He busted his ass for the past couple years since the brand split, so good for him. Eric Young shaved his beard, ripped his Sanity, the Club, and Shelton and Nakamura. Oh, don't remind me, Jesus. Don't remind me, bro. We see something backstage, a little skit with the Iconics. They have been added to the women's tag team title match. You know what? I usually don't say good things about the Iconics. Good for them. I'm happy to see them in this role. They deserve it, and hopefully they get a good WrestleMania moment out of all this. Congratulations to them. Now we get to the main event, the gauntlet match. This was about the whole second half of the show. New Day come out, Xavier Woods, Big E. Can they live up to the challenge? Can they do it for Kofi Kingston? Anderson and Gallows come out, and they got freaking destroyed, dude. Like, buried, destroyed. Like, I don't even know how fast this shit happened. I turned around, I'm like, they're out? They got hit with the up, up, down, down. GG, bros. It was game over. Next who came out, Nakamura and Rusev. Good match. I had a little bit of fun watching this one. They made some good saves in the crucial moments for New Day, showing that they were finally starting to get beat down a little bit. And in this match, New Day gets the win eventually. I can't remember how they got pinned. It doesn't matter at this point. New Day gets the win. But when they cut backstage, did I see Asuka and Naomi celebrating? What the hell are you celebrating about? You just lost your women's title. And Naomi, I know you're not celebrating because you just got booted off the card. I mean, I guess you could say they were caught up in the moment, but I didn't like that personally. I thought that was kind of whatever. They probably don't have enough people on SmackDown to fulfill it, though, because everybody's on Raw not doing anything. So Next out was the Bar. The Bar and New Day, great chemistry. You knew this was going to be good stuff. They were in there going back and forth, but eventually Big E stopped them from hitting their tag team finisher, and that led to Xavier Woods rolling up Sheamus 1, 2, 3. The Bar end up taking out their frustrations on the New Day, and they slam Big E through a table. While Big E's laying there, they find out who their next opponents are. The Bar get the heat. They they do their taunt. We are the Bar, and all of a sudden, who comes out but not the Street Profits? I'm getting a drink of water. Red Cup of Doom. It was the Usos. The Usos come out, and my heart sank as soon as I saw them, because I'm like, dude, they had beast feuds with the New Day, and now they're coming out here for this, and they had the belts, they were hyped, they were ready, and they sat there looking at him, they're like, tell your boy, get up, and then all of a sudden they kind of changed their hearts, and they said, you know what, man, we respect Kofi Kingston, and so does everyone else in the back, so we're not going to do this right now, and they said, we forfeit, and the Usos walked off and left the match open. So they said there's one more team left, and it was Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. So your heart sinks instantly, because you're starting to think, what happened last week? Bryan crushed Kofi's dreams. Well, this week, they weren't going for it. Daniel Bryan gets knocked to the floor on the outside. Eric Rowan's the legal man. Big E does one of the smartest moves of all time, knocked him over the announcer's table, and then dumped the table on top of him, so he couldn't get up with his big goofy ass, and he ended up getting counted out. I don't know why I thought that was funny. I was just like, what? This fool got counted out? So, end was great. Bryan wasn't buried. Yes, very cool moment with the Usos. Shout out to the Usos. I agree, Brandon and Austin. Great points. I thought that this was an excellent SmackDown Live. They tried to tell a good story here. A little bit hard to believe. The gauntlet matches are very hard to believe, especially when it's not everybody going against each other. And sometimes you do the guy coming from behind. That's great. That's cool. You can't do it every single time, though. So hopefully going forward, they switch up the psychology in the gauntlet matches. But for this storyline, fun. Cool. I'm with it. I thought there was a very cool moment afterwards, too, where Kofi comes out and he's celebrating with his fellow New Day brothers. They're out there. He's like, man, thanks. He's happy. And the roster comes out. The whole SmackDown Live roster. You see Kevin Owens. Everybody's out there. And they're kind of like pounding on the apron for Kofi. It's like, Kofi, Kofi. And the fans are going nuts. You guys have to be happy for this dude, man. He spent so long in WWE. And I love seeing a guy rise up from the bottom to the mid-card to the top. And I know that wasn't the exact ladder. Kofi's ladder was more like, and now he's finally there. He has hit the pinnacle point, and it's so freaking dope, man. Vince will punish the Usos, LOL. Kofi gets the WWE title match. Yes, Connor, Kofi is in, Vince McMahon said at the end of SmackDown. So after they show the celebration, he said he's in the match at WrestleMania. So we'll have to see what happens next week as we get into the final hype builds for this show. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Patterson? Good to see you in here, bro. Happy to see you in here, man. One of my friends on Twitter, I hope I'm saying Dio Shy Patterson. I hope I said that right. If not, man, good to have you in here, though, bro. Really appreciate you on Twitter. Good to see you guys. Let me give my shout outs, and then let's get ready to get up out of here, man. It's been a long 2 days, and the WrestleMania week stuff is going to start. Tomorrow I will have a podcast dropping. So if you are on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, whatever you listen to your podcast on, Apple Podcasts, type in Everything Pro Wrestling, click subscribe for me, please. And we are also on Podbean, if you guys didn't know. Type in Everything Pro Wrestling. Make sure you see the one with all the episodes in it, and give us a subscribe, man. We would greatly appreciate it. But let's give our shout outs. First, Mr. Austin Stroop, one of the first ones in here tonight. Thank you, good sir. Mr. Floodwater, all the way from across the pond. I appreciate you, Flood. We got to talk on PSN eventually, man. It's been a while. Brandon Anderson, good to see you this week, bro. Happy that you're here. Connor, thank you so much, dude. We were sharing some private messages during the show as well. Connor, you are the man. Rob, I can't say anything that will actually do justice to how good you are to this group, man. I appreciate you. Jesus De Leon, another one. He's been stepping it up lately. I appreciate you, bro. Who else did we have in here? Shout out to Lakers Gaming. They were in the live chat yesterday. I appreciate all those guys. Shout out to my man Kevin Alvarado, doing big things, man. I know the league's about to tip off, bro. Make sure you go out there and kill him. And shout out to my man Mr. Patterson, Dio Shy Patterson, or call me Dio. My bad. Just saw that. I see everybody chanting for NXT and EPW in the chat. Thank you guys so much. Me and Rob, we're gonna be busy. I'm definitely gonna be all over the place. So if my Twitter's going off, I apologize. If you see messages on Everything Pro Wrestling Group, you know it's WrestleMania season, bro. So I'm sorry. That's what it's gonna be. I'm gonna have videos, podcasts, everything. You never know when one's gonna drop from this point forward. So always be ready and make sure you guys give it a listen. All right. But this is Everything Pro Wrestling. I'm Conrad Cushman. We're out, boys. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to type that in the chat for you. All right. And Dio, thank you for coming in here, bro. We're out. Peace.